Sorry about that. Gotta remember to hit that mic button when I record or stream. Um, so you see in the background, it's 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 uh it's a change of pace. It's really important to me. It holds close to my heart. So hold on one second. So you guys can see the logo here. Get the way. It's been 20 years, 20 years since Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, Louisiana, Gulf Coast, Mississippi, Alabama, and whatnot. And yeah. Crazy times. 20 years, that's wild. 44 years old now, so I would have been technically 25 when I first went down because I had to wait 6 months later or something like that, whatnot. Well, yeah, I would have been going on 25, sorry, that year because I went down in February of '06. I couldn't go down until then because obviously a lot of the hazmat stuff and everything had to be cleared up. They still had the National Guard and military and a lot of law enforcement stuff like that down there. Other people were actually made it down there that I eventually followed, went down there and started working with and whatnot, like Jim Payton, head of, at the time, executive director of Habitat for Humanity. Um, let's see, a lot of people, a lot of people. Anyway, sorry about the noise in the background too. A lot of stuff going on. Had the AC on. It's kind of warm up here today. It's not too bad. Um, But anyway, so all of our stories right here, you see it right in the background. I wish I needed to put more. I was trying to editing and squeeze everything with Adobe Express and whatnot. Um, the biggest thing is like I work with so many people, amazing leaders. We are all leaders, long-term volunteers, site leaders, things like that. Over the course of time while we are down there. I went down there. You guys know the history of Hurricane Katrina, one of the worst devastating freaks of Mother Nature we had hit the United States landfall and whatnot. There's been a few ever since as well. Talk about Tornado Alley, things like that. Um, and sorry about that. Yeah, I live right next to a train track too. Sorry about that. But importance of this video was just wanted to get that out there to everybody. Here, it's August 28th, technically, so tomorrow's the anniversary, 23rd anniversary of Katrina. I wanted to make this stream today and whatnot for people to check out and whatnot, and just give my experience with all the people I worked with, and what led me to go down there, and obviously it led up over 1 billion people over 6 years. Time to go down there over time. Obviously, you want to help people, you want to help your country, you want to do everything you can to bring people home, stuff like that. That's the biggest mission that we went down there for. Obviously, all of us had that same vision and goal to execute and bring people home and stuff like that. So really amazing stuff. For me, I was only planning on going on there for 3 months. A lot of people that know me know the whole story. Was on CNN, Anderson Cooper 360, talking when they came down to talk to all those volunteers one year, and then the following year they came down to talk to an amazing organization, AmeriCorps, which is an amazing group of young 18 to 24-year-olds. And if you have an 18 to 24-year-old who's in the middle of deciding what they want to go to college or whatnot, definitely I would recommend highly recommend AmeriCorps. They teach great leadership skills. You make great friendships, brothers and sisters for life and stuff like that. They give you solid scholarships for colleges like that. I didn't serve AmeriCorps, but I worked with a lot of these fine folks you see in the background. You'll see like a lot of these guys, like this one. This look my friend Lily Johnson right here. Sorry, it's weird pointing. Lily Johnson right here. Other backgrounds you see like all of us with the help right here in this area. There's AmeriCorps volunteers there. And then over here, there's some up in this picture that we were doing the houses and stuff like that. And there's so many others. Camp Premier started as Camp Hope, it led into Camp Hope 1 and 2, and I think they have a third one down there right now that's just still continuing to build, refurbish and whatnot, houses and stuff on a steady pace and whatnot. Obviously, they probably evolved over time and whatnot, which is cool. So we were staying in military climate control tents. So, but yeah, I was packing. I was here. I'm back here in Plattsburgh, New York. St. Bernard Parish, New Orleans is my home and my stomping grounds. And so is here in Plattsburgh, New York. I'm here in Plattsburgh, New York, back again, kind of like settling down a little bit. Got some nagging injuries I got to take care of and stuff, and just working on like doing. I got my podcast channel, things like that. Part of my retirement plan, my passion projects, talking about technology and gaming and stuff, as you know. Um, and yeah, so. So back up here, stuff like that. I do miss New Orleans. I do see a lot of my friends who stayed back, who ended up moving there and staying back, and stuff like that. And it's amazing that they're doing with all the stuff they're doing there with their own startups or they're working for other businesses, or some are still with Habitat for Humanity, hands-on New Orleans or St. Bernard project, things like that. So amazing work they're doing down there. So hats off to those guys with Samaritan's Purse and Lower Ninth Ward Village Community Center, Holy Cross Neighborhood District Association. I can name them all. Common Ground, all you guys. Hats off to you guys doing your thing. And I miss you guys. So, anybody who's no longer working with those entities or at home or back in the cities or whatever they're doing, whatever your walks of life are, if you interact with me or I interact with you, um, God bless y'all. Miss you guys. I still have some of you guys on Facebook. I try to stay in contact with my best of my ability. But yeah, it was a hell of an experience. I was packing stuff for at Red Cross here downtown Placer when they had a Red Cross thing for Hurricane Katrina at the time, and this was in 2000 and early. This was like late 2005, fall 2005-ish area. This is like 2, 3 months at least after the storm hit, and we're just like helping pack boxes, toothbrushes, whatever we could here. Donated from local and commercial stores here in Plattsburgh. Walmart, Target, things like that, Best Buy, whatever it was. We can get partnerships with and stuff. Obviously, grocery stores, Hannaford, at the time, Price Chopper, now Market 32, many other things. So yeah, we're just packing stuff there, and I just felt the need to do more. I was like, well, what can I do more? I don't want to just sit here and pack boxes. I know it helps. I'm not saying it's just pack boxes, but I wanted to get hands on. I wanted to be on the front lines. I wanted to go down and do something more. Me personally, and at the time, before I met anybody else who went down there, and I met so many people down there, I was like, had the same, passion and devotion I did. And it's all about all of us, people helping people, giving back. That's what I learned my time in New Orleans and from the local people and whatnot. And they're my friends, family, and everything. I have family who's from New Orleans, my aunt, uncle, and my family down there and whatnot. And my dad's side of the family's from Houston, Texas originally and whatnot as well. Me and my brother grew up in Air Force brats. Family, my mom's side of the family from Watertown and Syracuse, New York, here up in New York State and whatnot. And I have family spread all over. A lot of family that spent time in the military, traveling, stuff like that, whatnot. So um, my biggest thing was so what did I want to do? I was trying to make phone calls and stuff, looking at different numbers that are posted on the TV at the time. And I remember I was at my friend Jason and Jen's house when they were living on Elizabeth Street here in Plattsburgh, New York. And I was just we're watching news. I was constantly like just using their phone, like, okay, I need to call this, I need to call this, I need to see what I can do, what can I do? And then I saw Habitat for Humanity, and I was like, okay, I got the email, I got the phone number. I got in contact with a gentleman named Michael Hayes. He said, I think it was, yeah, I believe it was Michael Hayes. He emailed me back and said, hey, if you want to help, get down here. It was Dan and Martha as well. Dan and Martha, there's people, a couple named Dan and Martha that was down there as well. And then like somebody, it's either Dan and Martha or Michael Hayes. I can't remember. It's one of those three guys that got a hold of me and said, hey, if you can get down here, we got room and board for you guys. Uh, got plenty of work for you to do. You got places to here. We got a whole cafeteria to feed you, house you, things like that, showers, stuff like that. We're working on and everything, getting it down there and stuff. So just get down here and we got it for you, and we can if you need a ride, give us a call to our office here, and we can come get you. So I was like, all right, cool. So I told mom and everybody about it, and I went and got a bus ticket from Greyhound. Back in those days was like from here, no lie, from Plattsburgh, New York to New Orleans, Louisiana. My Greyhound ticket costs less than $100. Just crazy. Because right now, if you try to get a ticket there, it's probably like north of like $300, $400. I'm not sure what the price is right now, but it's probably way more than that, than what I paid for. Um, so I went down there and I was just like, hmm, a long trip, about 2.5, 3-ish days ish, somewhere around there. Finally got there to the bus station in New Orleans, right there right downtown, right next, not too far from the French Quarter and whatnot. Uh, that's where like the Amtrak and their bus stations at in general. I don't know if they moved to the Amtrak or not, but I believe it's still in the same place. So got there. And it was funny. I literally took a taxi from the bus station to the headquarters of Habitat, which is up on, I want to say, oh my goodness, what was the name of it? I don't know if it was St. Charles Avenue or not. I know it's moved around probably since then, but it was at a big church anyway, not that area and whatnot. And so I went in there and they're like, hey, what can we help you? I'm like, yeah, my name's Arthur Doyle, gave my information. I'm here to volunteer and everything like that. And I'm like, hey, I'm here to help and stuff and volunteer and work and stuff and everything. So they're like, oh yeah, you were supposed to go to the camp itself. So, gentlemen, they called somebody. They got a hold of Dan and Martha, or Dan, I think Dan was already there. Um, but they were like, okay, let me bring you to the camp stuff. You got all your stuff with you, this and that. I'm like, yeah, cool. So we're driving through, and I'm like, okay, I noticed some wind damage and stuff, and then we got to Upper Ninth Ward. I started seeing some other extra damage and stuff, and I was like, wow, okay, some businesses shut down, some wind damage, some things, some houses have been off their foundation. Some places are like, just needed to be condemned and whatnot because of the winds and stuff like that and whatnot. It was not until after we got over that industrial canal over the Claiborne, not Claiborne Bridge. It was was it St. Claude? St. Claude Bridge. It was not the Claiborne. It was the other one. So I think it's St. Claude Bridge. If I got that right, got over that one. Right. Well, get you right over to Arabi and whatnot. And Jackson Barracks is all there and stuff like that. So those of you who know, Jackson Barracks is where they filmed a lot of majority of Interview the Vampire back in the day. Their mid '90s movie, I think it is, early mid '90s movie with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. A lot of those areas were staged right there in Jackson Barracks area, near the waterfront and whatnot. So I went over that hill. I mean, I went over that bridge with him, and that my eyes just my mind, my eyes were just I was in mixed emotions, like what the fuck just happened here? I mean, I knew it happened here, but I was just thinking like that initial moment. Stripping boats in the middle of the roads, cars on top of cars, piles, car graveyards as we called it. Houses literally for that used to be on this foundation over 2 blocks over this way, on top of this other house, and just everything was just devastated. It looked like a nuclear bomb really went off in that joint, in that whole neighborhood, and that was going for throughout the whole parish. I mean, because you got Arabi, you got Chalmette, you got um, not in this order, but you got Beauregard, you got Violet, you got all this stuff all the way through Shell Beach and everything. It's a massive area, it's a good living area. It's where a lot of strippers and people that work in oil rigs and stuff live at, and other commercial businesses, things like that. And it was wild to see all this, and there was like there was a 2 or 3 block, maybe 4 block neighborhood that we actually couldn't go in just yet because hazmat was still there cleaning up where one of the oil tanks spilled over because it wasn't they, I think it was, I can't remember. I think they're supposed to fill it. It wasn't filled all the way at the time when they evacuated. So it kind of shift by the winds and then knocked over and stuff like that. If I got that correct. Um, and It was a very devastating area, and so I got to the camp and it was old military, it was called Camp Premier. We rolled up there, old military climate control tents. I ain't gonna lie, when I got there, I don't want to get nervous about anything, but I got there, I was like, wow, I'm like here by myself. I don't know what gonna be doing here. I know I'm gonna be doing recovery work. What the hell is my next step? Who do I talk to? Who do I, group myself with and everything? And all these things are going through my mind and stuff like that. I had all those answers, all those questions answered, immediately. I met so many amazing people. First few people I met outside of Dan and Martha, Michael Hayes. I met a lot of the camp directors there, some of the staff there, some of the AmeriCorps volunteers. But the first few people I worked with and who gave me the answers I needed, I just said, hey, just pick up the show and knock it out. Let's see, Adam and Spencer are gonna kill me for this one, or maybe even Ben. Well, I can't remember our friend's Ben's last name, but there was Adam Mayerson, who I have on my Facebook. God bless you guys. He's and he's doing his thing down there, doing all this stuff as well. Got a lot of cool playground stuff and everything going, but not a lot of fitness stuff. Um, Spencer Cooner, who's still doing his thing over in Connecticut, doing boat captaining stuff like that. And then we have another friend of mine, Ben, and I met a few other people as well. And then later I met Krista Wells and then Kelly Donahue, and the rest is history. And I met a lot of these people that were just amazing. Um, And then yeah, so we were just I met all these guys, and then they were like, hey, and I went my first day out gutting. It was the first day I got there. I was just getting settled in. I didn't go out till the next day because all the volunteers were starting to come back and stuff for the day. And I saw where the showers are at. Massive like area, like we had like whole fields of like people playing soccer, ultimate frisbee, football, whatever it is, um, big old cafeteria there, settings, stuff like that. So I got my processing, my paperwork done, stuff like that. Got settled in. They gave me my tent assignment, stuff like that. Where they climate control tents, the military climate control tents. House at least I want to say about. Well, I think about 20 some odd people, maybe a piece, maybe shy of that. I can't remember. They're pretty large tents in climate control. I mean, they had units that could either produce heat or produce air conditioning. This was obviously when I was in February, so we had a little bit of heat in there we need to get in because it does get cold in Louisiana. Don't let me tell you different. It gets cold down in Louisiana. And y'all saw they actually down south started to get more snow than actually living in Plattsburgh, New York. We used to get like 5 to 6 feet of snow or more. Last winter was I want to say one of the lowest snowfalls I've seen. And it seems like down in Florida, Louisiana, Texas, and those guys got all the snow we used to get up here. So, and people in Louisiana, my friends down there, it's not my fault. That's Mother Nature. Uh, but hey, I say this: the last time when it snowed, last time I knew, outside of last year, last time it snowed in New Orleans, the Saints won the Super Bowl. So hey, if it snowed all like it did last year, please, God willing, and everybody, let the Saints win, keep that Lombardi Trophy to Superdome. Thank you. And who that to all my friends in Louisiana. So yeah, so anyway, so the biggest thing for me was so the next day I got to work with like, I started working with the group with like, with Ben, Adam, and Spencer, and uh, and we had one of my best friends down there. Also, she's a native there, so, at Chalmette, Louisiana. She was actually working on the Camp Premier as well and stuff, and she already knew like Adam, Ben, and these guys and whatnot. But she was coming out with us, Kayla Band. She's on my Facebook. Shout out to Kayla. Love you guys down there as well. And then Crystal and Kelly came on a lot of the gutting crews and stuff like that. And I know Crystal ended up being more of and Kelly ended up being like a lot of the people that ended up, they were doing multiple things. Kelly and Crystal, hats off to those guys. They do amazing work. They do just busting their ass and stuff. And yeah, and shout out to Kelly for doing all those cool movie effects because I'm a big horror movie fan. And man, you're doing some amazing work out there in that industry and whatnot. Many success to you guys. So yeah, so they ended up tackling a lot of like the administrative stuff, like get volunteers checked in and checked out, whatever, whatnot, get us settled in with the 10 assignments, things like that. Guidelines, stuff like that, safety guidelines to take into consideration when you're out in out in the field gutting houses and stuff, because that's what we're doing. We're just initially gutting houses, just gutting. Um, to as many as we can get to that next phase of like now we can refurbish and rebuild these houses to get families back home again and whatnot. So. Uh, the biggest thing for me was like I went on the field the first day and we're gutting these houses out, and that's some work. That is some work. That's a lot. The 6 years I spent down there is one of a lot of reasons why my lower back and my hip and a lot of things caught up later on, like a lot of nagging injuries. But I would trade that for the world. Let's not get that mistaken. If I had to do it again with the condition I'm in, like what I'm saying, beat up and banged up and whatnot, thank God for being in fitness for 27 plus years. Um, I do it all over again. It's all about bringing families and people back home. If I, that's just that's that's God's blessings to all of us. Just go out there and help each other out. And that's what matters. So so I went out and got the house, started gutting my first house, and I remember, we had a whole setup. They were explaining me the whole setup, like, okay, we put all the debris in this pile. We put the white goods, which was appliances of any sorts in the house, in a different pile, electronics and stuff pile, hazmat, like anything with paints, gasoline, whatever it is, anything liquid that was like, not like, I won't say liquid so much, but like anything that was flammable, that was, obviously like be paints, like I said, gasolines, you had, anything that they had, like, for instance, like anything like aerosol cans, like that, anything like that, like anything chemical wise, we put in that for the hazmat to look through, so that way, they can get that out of there and whatnot as soon as possible as well. And then we had remember then we had like a whole memorabilia pile where it's like any pictures, graduation gowns that we thought we can salvage and stuff that were totally destroyed by a black mold or ripped to shreds or any way, shape, or form. Trophies, things like that. Anything like people have like Placer Saints jerseys, LSU jerseys, because that's home of that's Louisiana's a big football state and whatnot, especially with college football. And the next big sport after that would be, I would say, college baseball, because LSU Tigers win a lot of college World Series as well. So anything like that, we had like this photo albums that we could salvage and stuff. We put it in a pile for the family when they did when we after we're done got in the house, they can go in and salvage and keep what they want to keep. You know what I'm saying? That was solely up to them. That was the most one of the most important things when we're cutting out a house that we were very strict about saying. Just don't throw anything away. If it does look salvageable, even if it's a questionable salvageable, put it to the side. If it looks like it's totally destroyed, then unfortunately, we got to toss it out. And whatnot, and let the families know too, and they would totally be like, we understand it, whatnot. But so I broke it down like that. Obviously, safety briefing came down. We told people, hey, watch out for water moccasins. This may sound crazy, but yes, there was alligators running around in different areas in the canals and stuff like that. But there was like wildlife that was taking care of that left, right, and center. But not saying you didn't see that kind of thing. And then obviously, brown recluse spiders out there. You want to watch out for those guys. And then we said, what was the other one? Obviously, black mold, keep your 95s on, things like that. Don't breathe the stuff in because it tear you up. I had some, minor lung issues a few handful of years, about 3, 4 years later after that. And, thank goodness I got past that and stuff. But that stuff's no joke, you know what I mean? Especially how massive and thick it was in these houses after being sit out after this home has been sitting in the water until the water receded for so long, So, um, so yeah, so we did. That was part of the many stages of how we got these houses gutted and stuff. And like first, you got to get in there. There was like 2, 3 feet, depending on the size of the house. Like two-story houses, like we were able to. So a lot of two-story house, we were able to like go up the first flight of stairs. Excuse me, and we were able to like at least trim like some of the base, like where the water line was stopped. We just cut right just a little bit above that, got everything down from there, and then everything else. If there was black mold, we'd let them guys know. But like a lot of the times, it was like we didn't have to touch anything else. It was a two-story house, Um, in certain areas, like I know like Queens Court, things like that. We did a judge's house who rebuilt his pool, stuff like that, and barbecues for us left, right, and center. We over there, hang out with a judge after a week of gutting, and just hang out. We do a fish fry, crawfish boil, whatever it was. We jump in his pool and everything like that. And then he was gradually fixing his own house up and stuff. So really awesome. A lot of amazing people down there. The one thing I'll say about New Orleans and Louisiana folks is they're the most beautiful, kind people that you'll meet, in general. And the culture is beautiful, and it's got a lot of history out there and everything. And it was always a blessing just to be part of their lives, vice versa. So, and you make friends for life, like I said. The whole 6 years I went, every I interact with and stuff like that. Those are my friends, my brothers and sisters for life. I love them. Anyway, so yeah, so what was the next thing we did? Oh yeah, so when we finished gutting the houses out, I was like, man, I was looking at my friends. I was like, man, I saw like rows and blocks of these houses. We had to do like so much. Like there was a lot of different entities out there working and stuff. That was either uh, based out of our camp or was other different camps. There was other different camps everywhere throughout the area. Places people who come down from like me, Jefferson Parish, like Metairie, stuff like that. Canada. That's where my aunt and uncle lived at the time. And my aunt, uncle, couple of cousin, they lived up there at the time in Metairie, right off of let's see, I think it was Veterans at Boulevard or something like that. Veterans or Bonneville, can't remember the name of it. But it was one of the streets, but that was more. Jefferson Parish is like in Metairie, Canada is like more of the commercialized area where you like find big shopping malls and things like that. At. Whereas New Orleans was basically like the French Quarter. You got Uptown District, the CBD area. You got Central City Park. You got the fairgrounds, Treme. Let's see, Garden District, Warehouse District, so on and so forth. All these different places. Then you go across the Crescent City Connection. You have Algiers, Harvey, and all that stuff. Where more commercial businesses were at as well. So. then you get to further parts like Plaquemines and all that stuff. So the Terrebonne Parish and all that. So yeah, really awesome stuff. And they like a naval areas academy there as well across the bridge. Um, but yeah, so we just literally let's see, we literally I was looking at these houses and I'm just like, where do we start? Like we got this house, this first house done. It's like, what are we gonna do? Like this is gonna be a lot of work. And I remember my friend, I can't remember who was telling me, but I know like Adam and Spencer and Ben were talking to me about it. I'm just sitting there and I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, and then like one house at a time, And we had this auto mentor guy that Adam ended up taking over for later on because the older guy that ended up having to pull away from it because he was been doing a lot. These guys been working his butt off for so long. This guy was at the time I think he looked like he was like in his late 50s, like that, maybe early 60s. But this dude was a hardcore dude. Like this is the guy that Adam and Ben, those guys who got there before, right, days or weeks before me did. I did. They were working with this guy under his belt and stuff like that, and learned a lot of stuff about him from him. So when Adam took over his spot, his position and stuff as a site leader and everything like that, he was like Adam just had this just go to mind and like just bam, 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 this one, we should do this, and we all and the rest of us put our like interjecting, like and not interjected, but we put our thought process together. Crystal Kelly came up with this whole amazing process and everything like that. We just put everything together the best we could, get people home and said, okay, we're out in the field, we're doing this, and then we asked each other, because we're all site leaders, we're all like volunteer leaders and stuff like that, right? Volunteers. So we'd be the ones, okay, we got the project scopes written down. We got the bus captain system set up. We got more buses. We got more, had them help us get more trucks from separate our parish government. Amazing stuff. So obviously we always, we were like, who's going to drive the state truck today? That's the truck we load up with tons of wheelbarrows, just stack that damn thing up as much as we could. We do the same thing with the separate parish trucks when we could. At first we had to use some of the trucks, but then Adam and Spencer and Ben came up with an idea of like, hey, let's just build let's build more of these trailers that we hitch onto the back of it. So they got more trailers built to like load the tools and everything in different sections and put more wheelbarrows in and stuff like that. So we were able to get like everything, a lot of things out there to the volunteers, at each different site the best we could. And then we had a warehouse there that was a former high school gym or recreational gym, stuff like that. That were we'd go with it. We If we needed more tools, we lost like pry bars, which I know these guys, if they watch this stuff like that, watch this stream, they're gonna be like, man, yep, pry bars were a pain in the ass because you always they're small, they were convenient, they did the great job and stuff like that, but boy, were they a pain in the ass if you lost them. You're like, oh man, because at the end of the day, so we like closer to like depending on the season, but like from February, I want to say actually, let me see, from October through March, maybe early April, we were able to get the volunteers out there no later than like 7 o'clock, 7:30 ish. Start work and we cut out around 4 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock, depending on the group, depending on the chaperones and stuff as well for like high school students that come down and help us and stuff, college whatnot. Um, it'd be like some of us, and then like, at the latest, some would cut out at like 5 o'clock and say, okay, yeah. Um, we do tool roundup between certain groups that we radio each other, stuff like that. Once we started like getting the trucks and stuff, we drive around with the trucks and everything. We work with the local fire department, sheriff's department, things like that. And we just go around to make sure everybody's okay, whatnot. And we check houses before we send the crews out before the crews out to those houses. We'd always sit there um, and make sure everything's fully off. Double check everything, the gas lines, the water lines, everything like that is off. Electricity's off. Even though we knew the day before these houses were clear to go into, we just go in there about a little bit earlier because, like I said, crews would get there about 7:30, 8 o'clock or so. We'd leave at 6:30, 7 o'clock to go check a lot of these houses, make sure everything's copacetic and whatnot. In our radios, we had like different channels. Obviously, we talked directly to the fire department, and whatnot. One of the guys we knew down there, Barry Booz, and his crew, and stuff like that. Amazing guys, helped us out and whatnot. And obviously, the sheriff's department and whatnot. They go in there, just double check things and whatnot, and say, okay, yeah, we just double checked it. We're all good. Everything's green light. Sweet. Get the crews there, do the safety briefing, tell them to use the buddy system, take breaks as frequently as you can. Don't burn yourself out. Don't hurt yourself. Don't always have your N95s on. Tyvek suits are optional. If you want to have them on, that's fine. You can go on. Otherwise, if you have beat up a few pairs of old beat up clothes that you want to do, and you have, as long as you have boots on and whatnot, steel toe boots, you got work gloves on and long sleeve shirts to go in there, so you don't get any insulation or any of that crap on you. You're good. So we do that. We get in there, start knocking things house out, house to house, house to house, and a lot of amazing stuff. And So getting back to what Adam was saying, he's like, we do one house, it becomes becomes 20 houses. We do 20 houses, it becomes 50, 50 becomes 100, and so on and so forth. And it made sense. So within 2 years' time, I want to say post 2 years after Katrina, we hit that. Because this is when we transitioned from Camp Premier to Camp. By this time, we already had Camp Hope 1 and 2 out there. By the time we got to Camp Hope 2, we were already transitioning to the building phase in a lot of areas, right? And we were able to we had a number of gutted houses by no later than 2 or 3 years when we got there and post Katrina and whatnot, and St. Bernard Parish alone and whatnot, and Chalmette mainly as well, and Violet, Louisiana and whatnot. Um, we had over 2,086 homes done. At that time, we were doing a lot of that stuff and whatnot. And it was an amazing job from all these guys. And we have all these meritorious additional. Since in that time, we've had so many other volunteers come down. You know, uh, Michael Chake, his brother, and then Charles and all those guys. Paul, who's he's a priest of a church now, which is amazing. Crystal and those guys. Crystal still lives down there, I believe. And a lot of Elizabeth and so many people I just came across. Like I said, I can't name them all. Like everybody, all these guys are amazing. And it was a great experience, and I loved it. You made a lot of friends for life, like I said. And then we got to the building phase and whatnot. Started building houses, and they started, everybody started like building homes and whatnot, drywalling homes, insulating homes. St. Bernard Project was leading the helm a lot, get a lot of people to build homes and stuff, get the drywall stuff like that. Habitat was just finishing gutting, and then they were transitioning into getting material to to rebuild homes as well. And I learned, I was learning and teaching at the same time, drying out houses and drying out homes, teach people how to do that, whatnot. And this is coming at a time where I was like just already totally beat up and broken and stuff like that, mentally and physically. But I was like, that doesn't matter. What matters, we're about to come home. We got these houses out. Now that we're building them, we're able to start doing some house dedications as well in our as well as within our camp and whatnot. Um, and then just got to fun building homes and stuff like that. It's amazing. Did some work out at Shell Beach, before we got to building homes. We did some work at Shell Beach, helped demo and clear out some oyster shucking houses and stuff like that. Had a nice little fish fry from George Barisic. At the time, he's probably well retired by now, but he was at the time the president of the fishermen's community out there in Shell Beach and whatnot. We got to sit there and watch some dolphins and take some pictures and stuff. And I just seen that picture right above me right here. We were working on refurbishing and beautifying a lot of the memorials and stuff from Hurricane Katrina as well. Do a lot of work like that. Really amazing stuff. And yeah, it's an amazing experience. And then obviously I worked in after school programs, hands-on New Orleans, did a lot of stuff like that. Worked with NBA cares, and NFL play 60, things like that. We had NBA to cares day of service, as you saw. You see like this picture, right, oh wait, sorry, right there, Yao Ming and Jet Li. And then over here, this way up there, right above me and Lily there. Um, it's Jet Li and my friend Emily. And we had like Jet Li Yao Ming at that site. We had David West at the time when it was still New Orleans Hornets. He came through. We had Seth Gilliam from The Wire, as all Walking Dead like myself fans know. He um, plays Father Gabriel in the Walking Dead series, or in let's see what else we had. Oh man, we had a lot of people, WNBA players came around. Like different sites, we had like Michael Jordan there. We had some sites had Kobe Bryant, Dallas, and so Tim Duncan, Dikembe Mutombo, and a few others. And all the individual celebrities to me, I enjoyed it. We got invited to like a VIP NBA cares thing, to hang out in the Jackson Square area where they had it like gated off and stuff. And you can meet with like, I was walking by and talking to people like Dominique Dawkins, Magic Johnson, all these NBA legends and stuff. It was really fun and really awesome. And I don't want to say, well, it was with a great incentive to all the hard work all of us volunteers did, and they did it for all of us, you know. We went in there thinking like, it's not just about us, it's about all of us collectively, you know, doing a lot of amazing things for the community and whatnot. Um, but yeah, that was an experience. And then we did our national hands-on actual day event and whatnot, and refurbished Cape Ventura Park, which is awesome. And a lot of the neighborhood folks came out to help us and join us and whatnot. That was an experience. And then let's see, working with Habitat hands-on was like cool experiences because like we get like free tickets to Saints games. We saw like with Habitat for Humanity, we all got tickets to go see Pink, Justin Timberlake, and Timberland, and those guys at a concert in New Orleans Arena, or now it's Smoothie King Arena. Um, and you know, obviously the Superdome, we watched that. Um, we got to see the Saints games there and whatnot, watch those guys play. And that's when we first got Drew Brees and Sean Payton in those early years and whatnot. And then, you know, 3 years later, they went over the top. We were raising the Lombardi Trophy for our first time ever. So that's amazing. And to us in New Orleans, it means more than Lombardi Trophy. I always say that Saints keep the Lombardi Trophy in the Superdome for a reason. I say it because to us, it's more than just a trophy. It's unification. It's, hey, New Orleans is here to stay. We're back. We're bigger than ever. And our community is amazing. And we have fun with this amazing sport, but most importantly, we love our culture and our history here, and that's what's up. So, um, that said, yeah, just amazing time. And then I worked for the Lord Ninth Ward. Um, Worked with a couple different organizations for a little bit. Helping out as much as I can, kind of just spreading things out, learning things, whatnot. Just doing whatever I can, whatever I can do. And then I remember the next major organization I worked for was I did L9 for a little while. We were drywalling, taping, mudding houses, things like that, painting them, doing that kind of stuff. And that was really awesome. That was fun. Worked with some great people there. And then that was and I left for a little bit. I came back here to Plattsburgh for a little bit for Thanksgiving, spent time with my mom and aunt and everything. And then I want to say stay here for some months, and I missed it, you know. So I told mom and my brother, I'm like, I want to go back, you know. What do you guys think? And they said, hey, you know, well, let's just, just be safe down there. And so I got on a bus and went back, you know, and well, not a bus. Sorry, this time I took a plane back. Yeah, got on a plane, went back, and went down there, and then was it? Let's see. Went back to Habitat for a little bit, but this time I wasn't sub leader. It was just volunteer, extra volunteer work and stuff. Did a little bit of work there for a few months, and then heard that about this place called Lower Ninth Ward Community Village Community Center, and I met God rest his soul as well. Met Mr. Matt McClendon, amazing dude. He ran the organization, executive director. His brother Joe came along and from Georgia. His brother came from Georgia and came out to help his brother out and stuff. And they already had like an established kind of like few leadership crews there, stuff like that. And then I told my experience and said, well, you know, what are we looking to do here? You know, I know that obviously recutting, rebuilding, stuff like that are, and he was talking about the situation like, well, you know, people are getting fined that who can't come back home and get fined $500 or more a day or whatever it was, you know, to not for not clearing their lots. And I'm like, well, they can't come back home, so how can these people find them, you know, for not clearing their lots and they're not here, right? So I was like, well, how about this? Do we have any yard tools and stuff like that? So we got donations from Walmart and stuff like that, and other entities and stuff. We got a bunch of lawnmowers, weed whackers to start things off with. Plenty of gasoline because you know these guys knew the local gas stations stuff like that. So we got plenty of gasoline and stuff like that. Cans coming left, right, and center. They already had like a little established garden where they're growing like their own foods and stuff like that as well as when they're cooking with. So like locals, the same thing with Habitat that we did with Camp Hope and Camp Premier. Local would come in, cook food and stuff like that, and we just make one, shoot the shit and whatnot, and just talk about anything, talk about the progress of everything going on in the city, talking about getting an education about, you know, the history of the area, what needs to be done, things that need to change, and they eventually later on changed. This is after, I told he was, after 6 years of doing it, I was like, yeah, my body's like beat up and stuff. So after 6 years of doing that and whatnot, I was already living in Arizona at the time for a little bit, doing epoxy flooring and stuff, and came back, eventually came back to here in Plattsburgh. But a lot of those things changed for the better and whatnot, and those in a lot of those areas and stuff. Uh, where you got to see even see like Brad Pitt make Rise Foundation one year we met the guy that did that actor that did the Allstate commercials, and then Darius Rucker was down there, Brad Pitt was down there. We were just this was tied in with the Lord Ninth Ward Village Community Center. We were doing some work down there, stuff which the common ground area that we were partnering with, along with um, the Holy Cross Neighborhood Association, right? And we were, at this event and stuff. We got to meet Brad Pitt was down there, all those guys, like I said. And we're just, they were just talking about the progress of like the Make It Right Foundation and stuff. And these houses really cool. Like they're all solar powered, and then also they had like drainage systems like recycled water to for showering, things like that. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool innovations. If you look at them, if you look at them right now, I guess they're kind of like you look at them, they're not your traditional New Orleans house, but outside of the whole color scheme, and the pastel colors and stuff. But they were really amazing and innovative houses because they were like really just like really aerodynamic stuff. But it was really cool. The way it worked, I believe, is like people who the foundation was basically there, like, okay, anybody who owns this property, they get this right here for this small amount of money, they have to pay only, and they put the X amount of hours in if they wanted to or not. All right. Um, and then the foundation would foot like three-fourths of the bill to get their houses, to pay off their houses like that, get it built and everything. Um, and so um, that was that was really cool to see that, and a lot of people between Upper Ninth, Lower Ninth Ward, and Gentilly and New Orleans East, had a lot of these houses built, stuff like that. So really cool stuff. And so yeah, so backing up a bit to what I was talking to Mac about is like and his brother. I'm like, well, so we cut the glass and stuff. We got the volunteers coming and stuff like that. We can get some. Can we get some paints now? And that's like that. So we get paint was no problem. Got paintbrush, paint walls, all that stuff. Painting homeowners' houses who need to be painted exterior, interiorly, right? We started that. We started from those areas, right? And then they already had like then we were helping build a computer lab, so we got computers donated and books donated and stuff to the library. So library, K through 5 come there, and we do like volunteers and whatnot. We do read books or help kids with homework and stuff after school and stuff. When schools got back into mixing things a little bit more. Um, and then young adults and adults of all court would come in the use a computer, check their website, check the internet, teach them how to write resumes, cover letters, stuff like that, whatever it was, and also help high school kids with homework as well, using research and stuff like that on the computers. You got recreational area, people just come in and play some basketball, mess around. We had like a little living back area there where people had like, Xbox and PlayStation. They can go in and play some Madden and stuff. We have a little stage out back where Mac would give his speeches to all the volunteers, thanking them for coming. Then we got like crawfish bowls, like I said back there. We drive some of the volunteers during the summer up to Hammond, Louisiana, and like we pick okra, grab some fruits and vegetables, so like that, snap peas, go horseback ride. It kind of take a little bit, take a little bit of a breather, from all the crazy extensive work you're doing there in the Lower Ninth Ward, and then come back, and get back to it. And then we had like big parties, like we brought brass band, Trump came in, did a big concert. Uh, we met Cam Jordan there when we had UC Berkeley there. Cam Jordan first got recruited by the Saints that year. He wanted just to come in and check it out himself. He wasn't asked to, he just wanted to do it. And guy's larger than life, 6'5", 6'6" dude, just a monster. But really cool, grounded guy. I just see him playing on the field, on and off the field. Great dude. Uh, he's going to his 15th year, I think now. Yeah, 15th year, 16th year, spent that at the Saints, which is crazy. Well, he's doing his thing. That's what's up. Um, and then so that those are the main organizations I worked with and stuff a lot of times. And then after that, I've lived in the house for a little while after my volunteer stuff and worked a little bit in Treme area and stuff like that. Ended up meeting somebody and living out in Arizona for a while and come back up here. But yeah, I mean that was my overall experience. I mean, there's so much more in depth I could get into, but we just did a lot of work down there. There was like so many volunteers. There was millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of volunteers throughout the Gulf Coast. We did stuff in Kill, Mississippi. Wayland, Mississippi, and stuff like that. We did out there we were looking at that was during the transition of our gutting house to the building house. Been out there working some crews and Amish and Mennonites to learn about building houses, framing up, so we can teach other volunteers how to do them and stuff, and get this thing right, and make sure we're doing everything like on the I call it constant cadence and stuff. And we even did like Jimmy Carter blitz building stuff, things like that with Jimmy Carter and his wife and Tricia Yearwood and Garth Brooks and a few others would come down and we get 20 houses done a week and stuff with thousands of volunteers, obviously. So that was amazing events as well. Uh, Always had block parties for like New Year's Eve, Christmas, Halloween. Halloween's massive down there, obviously. Blue Fest and everything. And then we got Jazz Fest, Saskatchewan Festival. All these festivals we just went and did. And Habitat was really generous to us. Like we're every other weekend or so. We just a lot of us long-term volunteers, our site leaders and stuff like that, American volunteers. We just meet each other in the French Quarter, get a hotel for the weekend. Just hang out, grab bites to eat, hang out, go enjoy live music and stuff. Have a few casual drinks with each other, whatnot, and just chill out. And then go back. Come Sunday morning. Back at it again, gutting house, get crews out there to the lots and everything like that, to the house, homes and all that. Um, it was an amazing experience, with Habitat, hands-on and going to work, all those guys, just different, all this, all had the same goal, bring the family back home and get things done. Things with few things here and there different, a little different, like Habitat, gutting, rebuilding, and building houses, right? Hands-on nuance, mostly actual program education with kids at the James Singleton Charter School, where I also met Danny Glover. That's one of those schools big time. He's one of the big time sponsors for and stuff. Um, had a conversation with him, just talking about like, hey, he asked me where I was from. I was like, yeah, military brat. Mom and dad was in the Air Force. He told me that he had a sister at the time in the Air Force and stuff, and just got out and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's cool. And then we just having a conversation, and then I love meeting all these celebrities and stuff, that I met down there, like Lawrence Fishburne, all these guys, right? Uh, and Jet Li and all those guys, right? One of my favorite ones, obviously, was the April after the Saints won the Super Bowl. I was uptown at McAllister's on Chapatulas, and my friend Cody, who I have also I have him on Facebook still, Cody Jones. He had a video game shop right at the time when his buddies were like running and stuff like that. And they had like, Xbox 360s, PlayStation 3s there and whatnot. People could, excuse me, Nintendo Wii's at the time. People go there just play it. They pay a certain amount to play like an hour, 2 hours video games and stuff, new stuff, whatever it is, tournaments. And somebody came in one day and said, "Hey, and you guys got any like Saints gear or anything like that? See anything with Saints on it?" And we're like, "No, no, why?" Like, 'cause this is before Madden came out. This is before the Madden with Drew Brees and cover came out, and so they were like, okay, no, we don't got anything right now until the new Madden comes out, which we know that Drew. This is before we knew even we heard rumblings, but we didn't know it was all but confirmed that Drew Brees is going to be on the cover. So we didn't know that at the time. We're like, okay, we think he's going to be on the cover, but we don't have anything here yet. That's what they were telling him. So and they're telling him, hey, check out the CVS right down the road, down the plaza here. They might have some stuff you can get signed, or whatever. He's like, okay. He's like, yeah, because Drew Brees and his wife are next door. McAllister's want getting some food. I was trying to hold it together. I was like, all right, cool. Because I don't get starstruck, but I'm not gonna lie, I love my Saints, and I love what Drew Brees and Sean Payton, Reggie Bush, and those guys did for them, and set that bar where the Saints should be every year and whatnot. And so I sat there and I was like, all right, play it cool for a little bit. I was like, I'm gonna be a drink of soda over there. Am I want anything? He's like, you go over there just talking to Drew Brees, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, we just won a Super Bowl. I gotta shake the man's hand. So I went over there, got a drink. When I got in the line, it was so funny because he was standing right in front of me. Like I was right behind Drew Brees in line. I was like, oh damn. And I'm 6'1", just shy of 6'1" actually. I'm now I'm 242, but back then I was like 218-ish. But this dude's has some broad shoulders. He was not no damn 6'1". He was a little taller than 6'1". He was about at least 6'1.5", to be honest with you. And I know that because, like I said, I got last time I got measured for my doctors. I had measured for my doctor's office right before COVID happened. They had me at 73 and a half. No, not 7. I'm sorry. Yeah, 72 and a half inches. Sorry, not 73 and a half. 72 and a half inches. So I was just running up to 6'1", whatever. Um, but the biggest thing, so I shook the guy's hand. I was like, "Hey, sorry about this breeze, but thank you for what all you guys and the whole team have done for the city of New Orleans, like stuff like that. We're working in nonprofit organizations, building this stuff, and it means so much to us and everything." And out of a guy who's busy, constantly doing like talk shows. When you win the Super Bowl, obviously these guys are doing media days, talk shows, this, that, left, right, and center, doing other things. Shoots for Madden covers, mocap for Madden games, things like that. Uh, I mean, generally get like a month or two with their families and stuff. It's kind of like we can finally relax kind of deal, you know what I'm saying, before we have to get the training camp and OTAs, all that stuff, and after the draft and all that stuff happens. So, really cool thing was like, so he actually let me sit down with him and talk to him a little bit, and I just pick at his brain, just pick his brain, like, hey, what should I do? I've been doing this, but what do you think I can do to improve this area, or like maybe bring some. And and I was like, well, I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, dude, like you and your wife are this when his wife was pregnant with her second child. I'm like, oh man, you guys are here to like, just hang out stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. He's like, no, no, just got a few minutes. So picked his brain a bit at McAllister's restaurant. And the thing is, really, really grounded guy, big time Christian dude. Love it, you know what I'm saying? And the leadership he had brought and set and cemented in the New Orleans Saints organization, and then some, is just phenomenal. It's amazing. So that was an amazing moment right there as well during the time we were, rebuilding New Orleans and stuff like that. But I have to say, like, one of the most experiences like when we had is like there was an elder lady that who could get into her house, but she was on the list to be. And she was like probably like because we had a like, list of like who what house we go to, right? She was a little bit further down on the list, but we were next door. We just finished the house, literally right next door to her, and I wanted to get her house done, but then it was a whole red tape thing, this, that, and other thing. And I'm like, okay. So I got a hold of, I got a hold of Colonel David Dysart, who was head of Homeland Security in that division of St. Bernard Parish, Chalmette at the time, right? And so I was like, hey, I know I'm with Habitat on their clock and stuff, but what can I do for this lady? She got all this stuff in there. She's 86 years old. I just want to do this, if that's cool. And, some people are like, hey, it's just one lady. I'm like, well, you help one person out and you go out of your way to help one person out. It changes the whole landscape of a lot of things and it changes someone's life all the time. And that's amazing. You just keep spreading that type of leadership skill. So as a site leader at the time, I was like, hey, I got a hold of the guys I need to get hold of. They said, well, Dicer was like, hey, if you want to go after 5 o'clock and you can get a crew to do that, then go out there. That's fine. You can take one of the trucks, obviously. Got my permission to and everything, obviously, and get a trailer, get some tools, whatever you guys want to do, get some lights out there. If it starts getting dark, whatever. Just be careful, obviously, and whatnot. And I was like, all right, cool. Instead of getting 10 people, I got 20 people. We got her house gutted. Next day she came back, saw everything gutted. Because I was like, I'm stepping over the red tape. I don't believe in the red tape crap. Big number one mission and a priority is get people back home. Get your house gutted, get people back home. Get to the next step so they come back home. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. And so they came back. Next day, I had a volunteer crew with me, and I kind of like I started to get listen. There was not a dry eye in the volunteer group. I had to like kind of I did the whole at the time because I was only in my late 20s, so I was like I tried to do like the whole like gotta be strong for the crew and stuff. So I stepped out in the back and I kind of like wiped my eyes a little bit, teared out of my eyes a little bit, and then composed myself, came in and just shake Leah's hand and stuff like that. Very, whenever was still you know uh, pouring down because it's a very emotional thing. Took a lot out of you, but it was very meaningful, very emotional. The the power of God in humans. It's just amazing. I almost say that right there. Um, and so let's see. We were literally just like we were blessed that day, as well. We're blessed every day, helping getting these houses done, stuff like that. And and those volunteers that day had that experience. That was their first day on the job. They had that experience. They said, "Wow, now I mean, we already got it, but we really get it now." And I'm like, this is what this is what God had. God wants us to do this. This is what we're here for. It's we help each other out. We're humans. We're not machines. We're humans, and that's what we do. Yes, we all sometimes make our mistakes, but we learn, we bounce back, and learn from those mistakes. Again, we're only human, but um, we're not here to hurt each other, harm each other. There's no need, there's no room for that at all. We're here, like I said, we all in life put God, family, community first, and we are here to live in a world where people help people giving back. And yes, we have our hobbies, our fun things we like to do in life in the most responsible way. And we all, we have to get to work, pay our bills, save money, have a retirement plan, lead by example in the most positive way and whatnot. So, really amazing stuff. So, let's see New Orleans today, 20 years later, much improved. Uh, saw a report that so far this past year, there's been less than 53 murders in New Orleans, which is very shocking. It's slow since I think they said 1950s or something like that, or maybe a little later. I can't remember what year it was, but it's been a while. And I'm glad for that. You're starting to see that in a lot of other cities too, which is nice. This new administration and whatnot. And I just love, people continuing to help their communities out in any way, which way you can. It could be anything from the smallest thing to the largest thing. Every little bit you do for your community counts and moves, and it is a blessing and stuff. So, um, it's not about us. It's not about you or me. It's about all of us collectively doing amazing work for each other, help each other out, helping our communities out, keeping our communities up to date, safe, obviously, fun, exciting, in the most positive way, and innovative, if you will. So, New Orleans today, I know they got the much better levee systems there. Is there work to be done? Still work to be done? Yeah, of course, there's room for improvement for any city, you know what I'm saying? But it's gotten there and then some, and it's one of the more techy areas. I know that in recent years, Microsoft, Apple have had multiple and still continue to have lots of conventions at using using the next gen cloud AI software services, cybersecurity, stuff like that for different areas, federal, state side of things, and whatnot. So um, it was an amazing experience, and I love all the people I worked with, all the people I've met, and I still stay in contact with a lot of them. Some of them have passed away, unfortunately, over the last 15 years, like quite a few of them that I know. It's some a lot of them, close to me, a lot of them in my family. It's like some of them in my family will not and whatnot. But um, they're always up there smiling down on all of us and giving us that continued power of God to continue to push forward and do the right thing all the time. And that's what's up. And always, help each other out in the most positive way. So um, I'm gonna leave you guys with this: is that let's just I don't like to use the word anniversary so much when it comes to things like this. I like to use the word of, a celebration of life and how and a rebirth, of New Orleans, right? And I love it. And all you guys are still down there that I work with, keep doing God's work and do amazing things. And those of you who are not there and you still go visit there, tell everybody say what's up. And I love them. And one of these days maybe I'll make it back to New Orleans. But right now I just got my lower back and stuff to take care of, and you know, get myself back in the gym again and whatnot eventually at some point. Get some things back to normalcy here. But other than that, I'm doing well. Just can't believe it's been 20 years, like I said, and just give you a little bit part of my experience, part of my life living down there, working with so many amazing people. We did accomplished so many, tons of things, within 6 years and whatnot. We did so many things. We did in 6 years what would take normally 30 years for a contractor or a company to do. We just all came together, band together, got the right people, got the donations and everything, the outpouring of the world and stuff like that. And like I said, when I was down in Anderson Cooper 360 for in July 2006, when they showed that, there's like transcripts out there, something like that. People got DVDs about that. My mom still got a DVD about that actually as well. I didn't. They were trying to interview me about. They were trying to make a story about me dropping everything from up here in Plattsburgh and just going down there and helping. I didn't want to be about that. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to literally, and like I did in this segment, push the envelope of at that time. We still need more volunteers. We need more help. We need a lot more support still. But we're here doing God's work, busting our asses left, right, and center. We've got a lot of we got a lot done. We still got a little bit ways to go, but we're going to keep pushing and get it done. And you know what? We've got a lot of that stuff done, and we continue to capitalize on top of that as well. which is amazing. So I love that. So God bless you, New Orleans. God bless everybody. Love you guys, miss you guys. Remember, was kind to one another. We're all God's children, and it's always about God, family, community first. And we're eliminating all the negativity in the world right now, which is amazing. And it's all about us living together and helping each other out, and that's what matters. And that's what God has us here for. Doing amazing things for our communities and each other, and that's what's up. Let's not. We're not going to do this tit for tat thing. We're all, yeah, this party's better than this party, and all that. No, we're all human beings at the end of the day. And those human beings who harm other human beings, God's got a special place for you, and it is, and you will not be, and you will no longer be able to hurt nobody and whatnot. Because I don't believe, like, especially you see these school shootings and stuff like that. That's gotta stop. And I like the whether you guys popular community or not, the new administration clean up a lot of stuff to where our communities can live happy and much safer now, and especially our kids. They're our future generations. Um, we're all work hard in life to earn our way. Nothing's given to us, nothing's handed to us, as it should not be. Um, we lead by example in the most positive way. Um, showing people saying, hey, this is a great way to be a leader. Just help your community out, help this person out. And if you don't have the right answers, there's plenty of resources you can go to and say, hey, how can I do this to help this community out after this such situation has happened, whatever, whatnot. And then just be there for each other, just give each other support, don't, let's not talk down to each other, let's support each other, in the most positive way. At the same time, let's discipline ourselves in our families to where we sit there and say, hey, you know, work hard, you get the incentives of life, and you get to and just raise your family right, get your education, know who's in your community, you know what I'm saying? Know your neighbors. Or as they say, if you see something, say something kind of deal, let's protect our schools, let's do better as adults, to help the next generation come up and say, hey, this is what we need to do as communities, help each other out, and that's what matters. Um, Most importantly, it's just like, when I say that, this whole, we're getting rid of this whole, like, just all this evil in this world. That's a collective effort. We see somebody trying to do harm to somebody, let's report it, get it done before it happens. Um, and there's a reason why, protect our families, with their firearms and stuff, responsible people, Uh, so I didn't even go off the beat off the wayside of this conversation, but I'm just saying, like, as a community, natural disasters do happen, and it sucks. Mother Nature's been the planet has been changing climate since before dawn of man and woman were here. We just have to use the technology to adapt to it the best we can. And when something happens, let's get together and rebuild it and make it stronger than it's ever been. Uh, we have the technology, the means, the resources, things like that, and the entities to get it done and whatnot. Let's just get it done. Let's stop the chit chat. Let's just get it done when it needs to get it done. And then when it's done, let's all celebrate with one another and say, hey, we all did this together collectively. That's what matters in life in general, stuff like that as well. So, again, just want to say God bless you guys for watching this stream and whatnot. Let's remember those who we may have lost during Katrina, and let's remember that how we got together and made New Orleans and surrounding areas much stronger than it's ever been, and we continue to make it stronger. So that's what's up. And again, God bless you guys for watching this, and hope you enjoyed my experience. But this is close to home, very heartfelt thing for me today, because I was there months later helping rebuild and saw the disaster up front, and a lot of you will watch this or who have worked with me. Obviously, we had this experience together. Those of you who've been there, who I have not met and had this experience as well, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. And it was tough, but we all got together and we did it. We all did that. So give me a pat on the back. Anybody who wasn't able to make it down and you sent things down there, you helped too. We all helped collectively, whether it be from far or far away or right down the front lines. We all came together and collaborated and got it done. And hats off to all you guys, and God bless you. And love you guys. And let's just keep this thing rolling, being the best versions of ourselves. All right. God bless you.